leading the league in points, which, is typical of Connor McDavid, but also goals right now. And there's even talk about maybe he could pull off the 50 and 50. He has 11 goals in 10 games. What do you think? I mean, Matthews got a midseason 50 and 50 last year, but I mean, we haven't had an official 50 and 50 since 1992 with Brett Hall. So what do you think, Adam? First of all, do you think he can win the Rocket Richard this year? Do you think he will? And two, do you think he can pull off a 50 and 50?
I'm going to go off and I'm going to quote one of your favorite GMs, Kyle Dubas. He can and he will.
For both?
For both. Both. He can and he will. He's going to win the Rocket Richard. He's going to win the Art Ross. He's going to win the scoring title, which is the same as the Art Ross, right? He's going to win it all.
Art Ross is the scoring
title.
Win it all.
Yes. And mark my words, fans of Delayed Offside, the Oilers are also going to hoist the Stanley Cup this year.
Wow. I mean, he just asked you about McDavid winning the scoring title.
I love how rattled you got. It's so
good. My goodness. Okay.
All right. I got some thoughts on McDavid too. In terms of his run for the Rocket. I mean, I think he's going to be the running. I mean, he is every year anyways, so he definitely has a chance, but I'm skeptical he wins it. And this is why. So the last 3 Rocket Richard winners have scored at around a 60 goal pace. And like we said, the most goals McDavid's ever scored is 44. I mean, if you went by pace, he scored at a 48 goal pace and won the shortened season.
He's on pace for 80. He's on pace for 80 right now.
He's on pace for a lot right now. Exactly. He's on pace for over 82 goals. Yeah. So, but let's say like 48 is like his highest he's ever done. So like if he needs to get, let's say 60, if that's like the new benchmark in this new NHL, so he'll need to score an extra 12 goals this season, right? So you got to look at a few things. So why is he scoring more goals? So the one thing you need to look at is like, okay, is he taking more shots than usual, right? So I was taking a look at it. So his average shots per game throughout his career is 3.3. This season, it's 3.8. So he's about a half shot more per game. And that's really, it's not a lot. Like over the course of 82 games, that's an additional 41 shots. And if you look at his career his career shooting percentage and you multiply it by 41, that's an additional 6 goals on the season. So that's just not enough. And then, so he's not increasing his shots that much. Why he's scoring so much right now is his insane shooting percentage. So his career shooting percentage is 15.3%. This season, it's almost double that. He's at 29%.
Wow.
That's not sustainable. It's going to drop. Austin Matthews, who scored at a 67 goal pace last year, only had a shooting percentage of 17.2%. So he's not going to be able to keep up a nearly 30% shooting percentage. So if he's not shooting enough, and I think McDavid, he could win the Rocket if he really wanted to. I think he could, but he would need to shoot more often. And I just don't think he is willing to do that. He's shooting half a shot more per game. It's not enough.
Wouldn't that be incredible though if he got it without taking that many shots?
It would. But I really don't see him shooting at a 30, even if he shot at 17% what Matthews did last year, he still wouldn't be able to get to that 60 goal level. Now, I mean, potentially no one scores 60 this year. And then, yeah, for sure. Maybe he could get, maybe he could win it with like, I don't know, 55 goals or something like that. But the past 3 years, it's been around 60 and goals are up again this year in the league. I think that's just the new NHL. I think people are scoring more goals. So I think 60 is kind of the range that he has to go for. I just don't think he shoots enough. He's a playmaker. He likes to set up his teammates. He's a good teammate that way. He's incredibly talented passer, and he's going to utilize that part of his game. So I think he has the talent. I think he could do it if he really wanted to. I just don't think that's his main focus. And so that's why I don't think he's going to do it. But we'll see.
I think he will. There's been a lot of talk, even with, there was an interview with Draisaitl earlier this year, and he was like, you could score 60 goals. You need to shoot more.
Yeah, he does need to shoot more, but he's not.
I think he's dissension in the Oilers locker room. Draisaitl and McDavid are fighting. Let's spread the word so that, it gets to the media.
The thing is, Connor works on, because we're on a first name basis, works on everything or something different every off season.
Yeah.
And that shot looks wicked.
Okay, what's different about a shot this year? What do you notice that's different?
Oh, his confidence just with taking it. I don't know if he's worked on anything in terms of that. Like, you hear of him like hiring Will Acton to help him with face-offs and stuff like that in this summer, a couple summers ago. He's just good.
Yeah,
and I honestly think
I'm not denying he's good.
No, and
I said he like the stuff he can do at the speed he goes. The way, like, it's not just the speed, but it's what he can do with the puck while going at that speed. Yeah. It's so difficult for goalies to be able to predict where that puck's going to go.
And that is why his shooting percentage can be so high.
But it never has. It's never. No. It's not going to be 30%. It's not.
No, it won't be. But it's going to be 25.
Well, like, what was Ovechkin's? Like, does anyone know like what Ovechkin's was during his prime years? Like, I don't know if it was that high.
Not idea.
No, I'm like sure. I'm sure
look at some of the best shots in the league history.
I'm sure it's probably around like where Matthews is, like around 17-18%. That's probably.
I gotta look it up because now I'm curious.
You're going to do it, okay? Because I was going to do that, but that's fine. You look it up.
I don't know. I'm very slow at this, so. Joe Sakic.
Why are you looking at Joe Sakic now? I thought you were looking up Alex Ovechkin.
Well, I was saying like so his best was 19% Sakic. So
in a season?
Ovechkin's in a season, yeah.
And when was that though? Was that
like in the 90s?
Like early 90s or late 90s?
Early 90s. I think it was like with
there
Quebec.
You go. That's
and Ovechkin's best shooting percentage was 15%. And that was
15%.
And 15.4.
And so for him to score, because he got a 60 goal campaign. So for him to score 60 goals, was that a 60 goal campaign that he?
No, that was 2020, I think.
Okay.
I'm just looking at Brett Hall's as well as another
regardless,
shooter.
To score 60 goals at 15%, you're taking a lot of shots per game. You got to be taking more than 3.5 shots a game. That's just how that's just the math.
So I was just gonna say that when Brett Hall got 86 goals in a year, his shooting percentage was 22.1%.
Right, but again, early 90s, like completely
that was like
different. 90s. That's completely different era. But anyways, it'll be interesting to see. I like I said, he's going to be in the running. He was last year. What did he finish last year in goals? Like 5th, 6th, something like that. Like he's always in the running for it. I just don't know if he's going to shoot enough. That's the only thing.
Well, like if he doesn't win, who's going to win? Because he's got quite a big lead now. Who's going to overtake him?
Well, I'm going to argue Austin Matthews potentially.
Well, who saw that coming?
Who saw that coming, right? But I mean, same thing happened last year. Leon Draisaitl had a 15-goal, I think it was a 15-goal lead on Austin Matthews at the beginning of the year, because Austin Matthews only scored 1 goal in October last year.
Yeah,
and then he went on a huge heater, right? So, he's the past 2-time Rocket Richard winner. I would argue, until he's dethroned, he would be the favorite. Another guy who's on fire right now is Steven Stamkos. He's among the goal leaders right now. And when you look at expected goals leaders, McDavid is not up there, but Stamkos is. So he's actually kind of getting the amount of goals that's expected of him. So he's putting up enough volume shots, and his shooting percentage isn't crazy high that, it's sustainable at the pace he's going. So Stamkos potentially too. You never know.